everyone, and welcome back to another edition of The Hero in You. I'm Marysol Castro. There are heroes all around us, and they're not hiding behind a secret identity. They're just regular people like you and me. Some will do extraordinary things, and others will help a stranger change a flat tire. They're heroes just the same. Today, you'll meet a gunner pilot who, after a crash, learned how to climb, see a group that helps the dream of higher education become a reality, and a mentor who is helping a homeless teen achieve a once impossible goal. But first, Willie Baronet. He's a college professor who traveled across the country collecting very specific signs with special stories behind them. The experience was eye-opening and life-changing.
Hey, would you sell me your sign?
Sure.
How much?
$10.
All right.
I started buying and collecting homeless signs back in 1993, really as a way to deal with my own discomfort when I saw a person holding a sign on the street. My name is Willie Baronet. I am here in my art studio in Bishop Arts, which is part of Dallas, Texas. It wasn't until I was in grad school that I named it We Are All Homeless. And ever since then, the project has started to take on a little bit of a life of its own, which culminated in this trip this summer. I ended up traveling from Seattle down to San Diego and ending in New York City, buying homeless signs in each of the cities.
Sir, will you sell me your sign?
It says, in need of a good deed, my man.
And one of the things that was really cool about the trip across the country this summer was that I got to have long conversations with a lot of the folks that I bought signs from. In Baltimore, I met this young woman named Ellie. She's 17. She'd been homeless on and off for quite a while. She lived in a room with a bunch of her family. Speaks 4 or 5 languages. Was not somebody I expected to meet on the street. There was a man in Omaha. His name was Michael. He was a veteran missing one of his legs, and I just felt a real connection to him. And I could go on and on about these stories. There are so many people that I met that touched me in one way or another. I get lots of feedback from people about the power of the signs and how overwhelming it is to see hundreds of signs in one place. If we can change the awareness people have, I think that's where all of this begins to change. Help them understand that there's no one story that fits all of them. What I would say is that if you can, just simply acknowledge that person. Let them see the humanity in you, see the humanity in them. And if you do nothing else, I think that's a huge thing.
On any given night, there are more than 500,000 people in this country without a home. The numbers are overwhelming. Maybe the next time you see someone down on their luck, don't just give them a couple bucks, maybe give them some time. No one should feel invisible. For many people, college is an unattainable goal. Rising costs and unmanageable debt leave many students with very few options. However, Virginia Hughes of Maryville, Tennessee, found an organization that helped make all her dreams come true.
Nobody in my family had ever been to college before. My parents kind of made it clear to me that unless I found a way to pay for it, it wasn't going to be possible. I went and saw my guidance counselor. He mentioned that there were some scholarships that I might be interested in. It was like, all you have to do is fill out this form and you have to write an essay. So it was a very easy process, and it made all the difference in the long run. The first college I applied to was Pellissippi State Community College, and I got that acceptance letter through an email, and I remember feeling ecstatic. My mom worked second shift at the time, and I couldn't wait to tell her on her break. I remember just like bouncing around the house, being so excited that I had finally gotten accepted.
There are free community college programs all across the country. Each of them has their own name. Many of them are college promise, but what makes them unique is they all expand access to higher education, especially community college, for more students. Heads Up America is how we talk to students and families all across the country about why community college should be free for every hardworking student across our country. But we're part of the College Promise campaign, which works with leaders and stakeholders all across the country to help them build programs that offer free community college to students in their communities. We are seeing so many states follow Tennessee's lead and start to build free community college programs for their students, and local communities are taking the lead too. And that's why, Dr. Jill Biden is our honorary chair. She believes in this work as a community college educator for most of her life. She has seen the struggles that students have. That's why she's gotten involved. Free community college is good for students, it's good for businesses, and it's good for communities. Civic Nation is our parent organization. It's a 501c3 nonprofit that advocates for a range of social change issues in our country that we want to make progress toward with really cutting-edge grassroots and digital campaigns.
Tennessee Promise makes it really easy to understand step by step. You have somebody there, not only your mentors there to help you out, but everyone that works for Tennessee Promise, you can reach out to anybody and they're going to be more than willing to help you.
The mentors really serve as a resource, a taskmaster, encouragers to students that they work with, being that cheerleader and that encourager to remind students, you can do this. We are going to go to college, we can get there.
Laura, my mentor, makes sure that I stayed on track and wasn't overwhelmed by the monster that is going to college.
Virginia has transformed through this education process. She's a grown-up young woman now, achieving her goals. It's just amazing the difference time and education make.
So as more and more students are benefiting from free community college, many of them are going on to four-year schools and getting bachelor's degrees or even graduate degrees afterward. And we have heard from many four-year schools and universities that they're eager to have these students transfer to their institutions and go on to succeed in their academic lives.
Going to college prepares you to take on that professional world, if you will. It teaches you all the life skills you need to have there and how to motivate yourself and find the people that you can lean on. Tennessee Promise changed my life. I got to live the dream of going to college, being the first person to ever graduate with a college degree. I have opportunities that I never would have had to have available to me had I not had the Tennessee Promise scholarship to help pay for college.
Today, 11 states have statewide free community college of some kind. We would love to see 50 states with free community college for every high school graduate and, frankly, every adult who doesn't yet have a degree.
I love the University of Tennessee, and Pellissippi State obviously prepared me for that. It would have been much more overwhelming just jumping into a university. I spent 2 years there and graduated with a bachelor's.
Virginia progressed through the programs. She followed the rules. She did her community service. Guess what? She's a mentor today.
It's great to be able to give back and see them make the success that you made. So it's nice to be able to be a Laura for somebody else, if you will. You have the dream and the dream's finally coming true for you.
Okay, so Virginia goes to school in Tennessee. I know a guy named Indiana who went to Wisconsin, and his sister Dakota graduated from Nebraska. What are the odds? Our next story takes place in New York, but I promise it's not about someone named Brooklyn. It's about a kid with a seemingly impossible goal and how a chance meeting with a retired cop changed everything.
Very good, all right. My dad put me into football in 7th grade, and that was when I loved the sport. Excitement, the passion, man. I escape reality, like I'm just there. And I just go with the flow like water. So that's who I am. I've always been a competitor.
I've been a Port Authority of New York, New Jersey police officer for 35 years and recently retired.
Right, stay loose.
I would describe Steve as probably the best thing that has ever happened to me in my life. He's always there for me. He never left my side since day one. Man, he's helped me so much. He's very positive to be around. That's the main thing. And that's what I need, because sometimes I doubt myself. During those times, it was tough. My dad lost his job. My mom, she got cancer. She survived, thank God. I remember I was having an argument with my father about food. There was no food in the fridge. My father was just telling me, just calm down, and I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I just took my things and just left. I went to sleep on a football field. I remember it was raining. It was dark.
I just happened to call him up to say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And then he related to me a story about leaving home and sleeping in a football field. And I just couldn't have that.
After that, he gave me a bed, and I said, why not? Better than anything, better than outside.
Let's just warm you up real quick on the power plate.
I'm excited about playing football. And Steve was the only person that told me out of everyone, my whole family, my friends, that told me that you can be something more.
I saw every single day he would do practice SATs, studying for college, and he would go to the gym for hours. I mean, 4, 5, 6 hours. It was like therapy to him. And I knew that we had to go from training harder to training smarter. And so we came here, and these guys have it.
Once we came here, we were just amazed from everything. The knowledge, the people, how they welcomed me like a champion, and it was just perfect.
You know, every coach's dream is to have a kid that when nobody's looking is putting in the hard work that's ultimately needed to become an elite level athlete, and Pat has those skills. There's no dragging Pat in the gym.
Today is our 83rd visit, and we're going to keep coming until he goes to Rutgers, which is in a few more months.
Out of all colleges, I picked Rutgers because I didn't want to settle for anything less, because I know that D1 is a lot of competitiveness, and I wanted it so bad.
He told me that it was his dream, like he had a vision, that that's where he wanted to play. So he applied, he had the scores, he put in for his financial aid and so on, and off we go. He's going to do his walk-on, and so he's got to be ready for that day.
I'm planning to walk on, and my goal is to shock the coaches of how good I'm going to be. That's been me and Steve's goal.
My guess is, when he runs out on that field, I'm going to feel like the parent of the son I never had.
And I told him, you know, you're going to be in the front row one day. You're going to have the best seat. And without him, I don't know where I would be. I get so emotional because he was the only one there for me. Mentally, I feel like I'm in the best place that I've ever been in my life right now. Like that. I can't wait to get out there and just show the world what I could do. I proved to everybody that I can do it. And I proved myself. And that's the best feeling in the world.
Steve can't wait for the day that Patrick runs onto the field as a member of the Rutgers football team, and he knows that won't be the end of the story, but just the beginning. What do you do when one day you have everything going for you, and the next, you feel like it's all been taken away? After experiencing a horrific helicopter crash, U.S. Marine Gunner Kirstie Ennis adapted to her new reality and has climbed heights she never thought possible.
I was one of the lucky few kids that grew up with military parents, and I knew throughout the entirety of my childhood that I was going to join the Marine Corps. I just didn't know when. A few short months after my 17th birthday, that's when I decided that was going to be my time. My name is Kirstie Ennis, and I served 6 years in the United States Marine Corps as a helicopter door gunner and airframes mechanic. A door gunner is the most bad to the bone job in the Marine Corps that you could possibly have. You sit in the window of a helicopter and you shoot a .50 caliber machine gun. You protect your helicopter and the men and women that are inside of your helicopter. That's your job. You are the eyes and the ears to the pilots. June 23rd, 2012 started like any other day, any other mission. I had done many like them in the past. We were meant to be moving from Camp Bastion, which is a British air base out in Afghanistan, And we were going en route to a forward operating base to do combat resupplies and to drop off Army medics to aid in some Marines that needed care. And then from there we were going to do an extraction of Marines from another location. Unfortunately, we never made it to that final location. My helicopter went down right outside of Nowzad, and as a result of the crash, I sustained a variety of injuries, everything from a left leg above the knee amputation to spinal cord trauma, damage to my arms, my eyes, my ears, and a traumatic brain injury to my right frontal lobe. I ended up having a hole smashed through my face. I could actually fit my fist through the lower right side of my jaw. I lost everything. I lost my jaw, I lost my teeth. The only two real ones were the two front ones that were wired back in. My healing process took a while. Physically, I turned to sports. I just needed something to make me want to wake up every day. Give me something to look forward to. And while it was frustrating, learning something new all over again is pretty exciting, especially when I entered into the world of extreme sports. That's when, I was just blown away. My whole life I was doing team sports. I had no idea some of this other stuff existed. But emotionally, it was hard. And I was actually one of the veterans that struggled with taking my own life in the first year of my recovery. And that's when I decided that if I couldn't live for myself, that I was going to live for other people. Whether that was my mom, my dad, my sister, friends, or the reality is I'm going to keep living for the people that never made it home. So the 7 Summits is the highest peak on each of the 7 continents. And it's just something that's not being done by a lot of amputees. And I think it should be being done by a lot of amputees. So the reality is I'm trying to set the precedence. But in March of 2017, when I climbed Kilimanjaro, I did it with the intention to raise money for a nonprofit called the Water Boys, and it was extremely successful. But when I was there, I realized I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to finish with just Kilimanjaro. And I was introduced into regions of the world that I never would have been introduced to had it not been for mountaineering. And so I started researching a little bit more and figuring out where these other crazy high peaks were and the environments that they were in and how I can continue helping people here stateside and then how I can help those communities overseas. And I started to run with it. And now I actually just got off of the highest peak in North America called Denali with the intention on supporting and raising awareness and fundraising for building homes for heroes.
Pinups for Vets is a nonprofit organization. We produce World War II style pinup calendars that raise money to support our various initiatives. And we do everything from donating state-of-the-art rehab equipment to VA hospitals nationwide to a 50-state hospital tour where we dress up like pinups and hand deliver our calendars as gifts of appreciation to the hospitalized veterans.
Pinups for Vets appealed for me for a variety of reasons. And I don't think it's the reasons that many people are aware of. At 21 years old, I didn't have the role model to look up to. It's taboo to be sexy. It's taboo to be attractive if you're in a wheelchair or you're in a prosthetic or you're disabled. And so I did, I was fearful. I struggled quite a bit with the self-esteem. And I want to be the one that can shake that. I want to be the one where people can own their differences and be proud of it, regardless of what it is, a prosthetic or a scar. And by being feminine and putting these heels on and putting these dresses on and doing your hair and your makeup, I just think it's such a positive representation of owning it. I hope that young women see the picture of me and they say, you know what, she's still rocking it.
She has just come back so strong, and I'm so incredibly inspired by this woman. Her resilience completely motivates me.
I wouldn't be where I am without my hospitals and my doctors. And Pinups for Vets does an amazing, amazing job of not only supporting the veterans in the hospital, but they also give some of the proceeds back. They've given over $60,000 back to the hospitals. And if it wasn't for my physical therapy, for my occupational therapy, I wouldn't be where I am. The mantra that I kind of live by, if you will, throughout everything was it's the 6 inches between your ears and what's behind your rib cage, and that contains what we're capable of. As long as you have your head and your heart in the right place, you can overcome anything. We control our circumstances, they don't control us.
Kirstie has shown everyone, especially herself, that the body can break, but the spirit is indestructible. Semper Fi, Marine. Everyone you've met today is a hero in their own way. Not everyone may look the part, but always remember that behind Clark Kent's glasses, there's a Superman ready to help. I'm Marysol Castro. See you next time. And remember, el verdadero héroe vive dentro de ti. The real hero lives inside you. Until next time.